Now, thank you very much, Caroline Jenga, for that particular report over there. And as we earlier had promised, that today we will be speaking about water and safety of water, as tomorrow is World Water Day. Now, water for all by 2030, one of Sustainable Development Goals by United Nations by definition. This means leaving no one behind, but today, billions of people are still living without safe water in their households, schools, workplaces, farms and factories, struggling to survive. Now, joining me to discuss this is Engineer Philip Holi from Davis and Shirtliff. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. And for tomorrow being World Water Day, what are you doing as Davis and Shirtliff to ensure that safe water is available to all Kenyans?
Thanks, Sarah. I think maybe one of the things I should add to that intro of yours is that a UN statistic says about 1,000 children die every day as a result of waterborne diseases, diseases related to poor drinking water. So water is a really crucial issue to us all, and indeed much more so for Kenya, which is a water-stressed country. There's a whole lot of things that we at Davis and Shirtliff do. We've been around since 1946, primarily working in the water sector. And I think there's no part of Kenya where we haven't dealt with challenges to do with water in one form or another. Safe drinking water. Some statistics again, 70% of the world is covered in water, but less than 1% is actually available for drinking. The water we have is not always perfect for potable water use. So we at Davis and Shirtliff look at the different sources of water. There's different things we do, from getting the water from the source, whether it's a borehole or river water, treating it. And once you've used the water, we also provide solutions that can help you recycle that water and use it again.
Speaking of recycling, I'm glad you brought it up. Now, what are ways that Kenyans can do, even if in their homes, to ensure that they recycle the water and they can be able to use it for later?
Yeah. Last year, I don't know if you remember, Cape Town went through a major crisis with regards to availability of water. And, right now we're going through a bit of a drought. The rains have delayed, so it's important that we conserve our water. Some of the things people did in Cape Town, which we can adopt, for example, taking your shower water, saving some of it and using it to flush the toilets, is a very simple thing that anyone can do. Reducing the amount of water that you use when you flush. I think the toilet is probably one of the biggest users of water in the house. Every time you flush it, a lot of water just goes down the tap, and that water is safe drinking water. But if you were to put a brick or a bottle filled with water in your toilet, you can actually reduce the amount of water you use. So simple things like that are ideas that people can start almost immediately.
All right. And then Davis and Shirtliff launched irrigation in 24 counties, and one of the counties we have Laikipia, Garissa, Nakuru, Taita Taveta. We even have Turkana County, but those particular counties like Turkana County, they are still facing starvation and lack of clean water. So what have you done as Davis and Shirtliff? Do you actually, whenever you set up a borehole, do you go back to service, or what exactly do you do when you set it up?
There's a whole variety of things that we do. From being engaged to drill boreholes, we've done a lot of that in recent past. In Meru County, we did quite a number last year. So once the water is available, how do you distribute it to the people? So there's certain things we've done. For example, we can set up water kiosks where communities can come to the borehole and buy water instead of trekking long distances. We've helped different organizations set up water ATMs, which are prepaid water meters, where, for example, people are able to pay using RFID technology for water. Solutions like irrigation, basically we work with farmers, so once they have a source of water, we're able to help them design drip irrigation systems or sprinklers to help them grow their crops.
All right, and I'm speaking of it, still on irrigation. Yeah. Water is life.
Yes.
Yes, and irrigation helps in farming. but still we are having in the country in this day and age starvation. So what do you have to say about that in connection with the drought that is in Turkana County?
We are basically, we're seeing the long rains not starting as early as they should have. But I was looking at the Met reports this morning, and the rains should come in April. So we're hopeful that actually we should see some rains. So I don't think we're yet in a full-blown drought just yet. Rains have prolonged, but they are expected. So taking the example of Turkana, for example, one of the interesting things about Turkana County is that there has been surveys done that indicate that there's a massive aquifer underneath Turkana. Now, much of that water, unfortunately, is a bit salty. But we at Davis and Shirtliff are developing treatment systems that can run off solar, that can take that salty water, desalinate it, and make it available for communities to use. So water is available in Turkana. It just needs to be converted into a form that can be used for irrigation.
Do you think as a country we wait till the crisis moment to do certain things to ensure that actually we are safe?
No, actually I don't. I think that if you look over the last 20, 30 years, we've gone through cycles of droughts. And every year something is done to try and alleviate those problems. I don't think we will ever get to a point where we have a 100% solution, but every year as a country we've tried to do something. Take Machakos County, for example. Historically in Machakos, they used to have massive droughts and people died from lack of access to water. I think the governor has embarked on a program a few years ago to drill hundreds of boreholes. The same thing was done in Meru County. So every year, Kenya as a country tries to do something to alleviate the problems. So it's a continuous process. Yes, we are caught off guard every so often, but we are continuously trying to develop our response to such disasters. And I think it's much better now than it used to be.
Okay, so it's much better now than it used to be. Yeah. Now, speaking of drilling boreholes, when you drill the particular boreholes in particular different areas, do you go back to service it and ensure that the water is clean? Because there are cases where the boreholes are being drilled, but after some time, the water that people are consuming from those particular boreholes are not good for human consumption.
Yeah. So, of course, after we drill a borehole, we are able to enter into a maintenance contract with the owners of the borehole, and that allows us to service the borehole on a regular basis. We do inspections, I think it's 4 times a year. We also do water testing services, so we can help owners of boreholes or communities or counties to carry out regular water tests and monitor the quality of the borehole, of water coming out of the borehole. And once you are able to monitor what's coming out, then you can make decisions as to treatment. And when we see a borehole is getting increasingly saline, and we've seen that a lot, for example, at the coast, we're able to go in and recommend treatment solutions and work with our customers to develop systems that can make that water suitable.
Thank you very much, Engineer Holi. They are speaking about safety of water and recycling of water to ensure that you have access to